So she's a serial fraudster. That's called fraud. When you pretend you want to do the one thing and you'll do the thing they're hiring you for. Well, guess what? TMZ has gotten its hands on that video, and you can hear Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni interacting as themselves in an exchange. But it went very, very viral, and people were saying Blake Lively was inappropriate and a bully.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are deep in litigation with one another over events that unfolded during and after production of the movie they filmed together, It Ends With Us.
Blake Lively's legal battle with Justin Baldoni has taken another dramatic turn, and this time Megyn Kelly isn't holding back. The outspoken journalist has called out Lively for being a repeated fraud, a claim that comes after damning new evidence has surfaced against the actress. With a major lawsuit on her hands, key figures turning against her, and fresh accusations of manipulation, Blake Lively's once glowing public image is crumbling faster than ever. And now it seems like Megyn Kelly is just one of many who are calling her out. As more details emerge, the stakes continue to rise, and the question remains: will Blake be able to defend herself? Or is this the moment where it all falls apart?
The producer says, or she's going to be co-directing this film. Yes. Jamie Heath says, yeah, we're talking about that a lot yesterday. The unnamed producer says, exactly. This is why everyone is starting to lose it. We've been talking about the same things for months. Jamie Heath then says, yep, it's starting to get resolved. This other unnamed producer says, no, it's not. I love that we're all finding out about this now, but so is she. April 21st, Baldoni meets with the intimacy coordinator to discuss how to shoot the intimate scenes.
A shocking new video has surfaced that seemingly exposes past actions by Blake Lively that contradict her current legal stance. This has raised major red flags about whether Lively has a long history of manipulating situations to her advantage. If true, it could destroy any credibility she has left in this case.
So she's a serial fraudster. That's called fraud. When you pretend you want to do the one thing and you'll do the thing they're hiring you for, but all along you have secret plans to do something very, very different that's above your pay grade. And she finally bumped into someone who was weak enough and not famous enough to stop her, right? This Justin Baldoni, most people had never even heard of him. He'd been in like one series. He certainly wasn't at Ryan Reynolds level fame, never mind Blake Lively. And she bullied him into giving her the movie where she did her own cut. They released the cut of the movie. He didn't even get to see it. He was the director of the film, the producer of the film, the guy who got the rights to the film, the one who's supposed to be in control. He didn't even get to see it. He was in the basement at his own movie premiere. And then she had the nerve, because she had 2 minutes of bad publicity when the film hit. By the time they premiered the movie, Ryan Reynolds had unfollowed him on Insta, so had Blake, so had the rest of the cast. Now you tell me, if you're an unknown actor in this film and you know that Blake and Ryan have turned on the no-name Justin Baldoni, who are you going to follow? You know, these are weak, feckless people out in Hollywood. They have no spine. So of course they all unfollowed him and chose Team Blake, including, by the way, Colleen Hoover, the one who really owed him a debt of gratitude because he bought the rights to her book. She went Team Blake. Well, guess what she just did this week? She scrubbed all of her social media of Blake Lively. She'd already stepped away from Justin. Now she's scrubbed all of her social media from Blake Lively because I think she's starting to realize she made a mistake. Okay, but here's the other piece of news that came out this week.
Megyn Kelly has now weighed in on the legal chaos surrounding Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and Ryan Reynolds. Kelly didn't mince words, calling out Blake's alleged pattern of deception and warning that she may not come out of this unscathed. If someone as well respected as Kelly is openly calling out Blake's credibility, then this case is making major waves beyond Hollywood.
Well, guess what? TMZ has gotten its hands on that video, and you can hear Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni interacting as themselves, knowing that this is all on video and that this is going to be used to create this dance scene. And no such moment is shown. Just watch it. Watch it.
we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
staring. You just stare.
Literally we've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. He's literally
You're talking about their spouses.
each other, and
When I
time
found a sociopath.
and time stops.
Yeah.
But that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my God, there's not enough time.
And they score again. Lively and Reynolds' actions are now being scrutinized more than ever, with legal experts breaking down why their tactics could backfire. Could they actually be facing legal consequences for how they've handled this lawsuit? And if so, will Baldoni's legal team take full advantage of these missteps?
In an exchange, but it went very, very viral, and people were saying Blake Lively was inappropriate and a bully, and it wasn't the first time. And then we saw a bunch of videos. Here it is with that clip with reporter Kirsty Flaw.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in digital.
Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation.
So there she was upset about being asked about the clothing. But here's Blake Lively in a different interview with People magazine talking about her clothing in this particular movie. That exchange with Kirsty was not about this particular movie. But here she is totally fine with talking about wardrobe in SOT 15. I had a bad experience with Blake Lively. At the time, I kind of had enough of Hollywood. I wasn't afraid of being canceled anymore, so I posted the video. So that one, which I think is the most famous example, Brian, the journalist herself is saying she had absolutely no connection to Justin Baldoni or these PR agents that we've been discussing. And is that basically your point? That, would you say the vast majority, most, all of the negative press generated about Blake in the summer did not actually originate with this PR team?
I would say all of it did not generate with this PR team.
As the case unfolds, one specific mistake made by Lively could end up costing her a fortune. If she loses, the financial fallout could be massive, and she may even have to settle for an amount that could damage her career permanently. Will Blake be able to undo the damage, or is it already too late?
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are deep in litigation with one another over events that unfolded during and after production of the movie they filmed together, It Ends With Us. She claims he sexually harassed her, then retaliated against her for complaining about the harassment. He, on the other hand, claims, among other things, that she lied about all of that and therefore defamed him, and that she and her husband Ryan Reynolds extorted money, property, and services by essentially stealing Baldoni's movie from him, and that they did other unsavory things like interfered with his contractual and economic relationships with the talent agency William Morris Endeavor, or WME for short. Although all of the other active litigation against Lively is in federal court in the Southern District of New York, Wallace & Street Relations Inc. filed their lawsuit in federal court in Texas. Now, if you want more background on the story, I have already put out 2 videos on the subject.
Baldoni has claimed that Lively used manipulation tactics to gain an upper hand over him, and new evidence is now supporting those claims. If Baldoni's claims hold up in court, this could be a major turning point in the lawsuit. And if more insiders start speaking out, Lively's side of the story could completely unravel.
Thank you, Justin Baldoni, for amending your lawsuit and refiling it last night with so much new information. In a 150-page addendum, Baldoni details everything that Woody Allen apologist Blake Lively did, including previously unseen communications between him and the B-list actress. So, where we left off, Taylor Swift's bestie was rewriting and attempting to rewrite even more of the script, even though she wasn't the screenwriter. He sent her that very long voice message, which I covered a while ago now. No need to rehash that. We've all heard it, and you've seen my thoughts. Quote, they had to reshop everything for Blake after creative changes, but it's a lot of money. I trust them, of course, but wanted to keep you all posted, as this is way more than I've ever seen wardrobe go over budget with the initial spend. And that's not the end of it. There is still so much more to get to, and I will be giving it to you. Stay tuned. Later today, I will be back in just a little bit. And make sure you're caught up on all my previous videos. Merry Christmas! Merry Blakemas! Thoughts on what we have learned in this video? Let me know in the comments section. You know what to do. I will be responding to you, and as always,
what started as a behind-the-scenes dispute has exploded into a full-blown scandal. And now, more people are trying to get to the bottom of the truth. With so many twists and turns, the truth has become harder to pin down. But one thing is clear, someone is lying, and the evidence is piling up against Lively.
You know, I think every day Blake Lively is not wanting to be Blake Lively. Like, I think she even wants to back out of this because it's become so cringy at this point.
Yeah, it's really become difficult for her. And you know, it's funny because you were talking about these subpoenas that they issued. So the Team Lively issued subpoenas trying to get phone records from Baldoni, and Friedman came out and said, well, they're way too broad. I mean, you can't just go on a fishing expedition. And of course, you know, in our line of work, we do a lot of that where you have to assert, it's called the right to privacy. You don't have a right to just pry into somebody's private information unless it's narrowly tailored to what the lawsuit is.
A shocking claim has now surfaced, stating that Blake Lively allegedly stole Baldoni's version of events and repackaged it as her own. If this claim is true, then Lively's attempts to control the media narrative are even worse than previously thought. Will this be the moment that exposes the real truth behind her strategy?
But and just know, it's literally, this is not a bit. It's literally not done. So to be honest, what really happened is we were like, we're gonna show the movie, and the studio was like, no, you're gonna show 20 minutes. So we're like, no, we're gonna show the movie. And they're like, it's not done. And I was like, they don't care. Let's just show them the movie.
Because you're going to go again, aren't you? You're going to go watch it in theaters, too. Twice.
And they were like, it's true. They were like, if everything's not perfect and it's not done, and what if we're going to change things? I was like, these are the people who authored the success of the book. You guys are what matter. And you guys seeing the movie is so important to us. So we're so excited to show you guys.
Many are now accusing Blake and Ryan of bullying tactics, trying to silence anyone who speaks against them. With more insiders coming forward, it seems like the accusations against the power couple are only growing stronger. Are they really as innocent as they claim, or is there a deeper strategy at play?
What do you make of this case?
Well, I have very strong opinions about this case, because when I first read the complaint for about a day, I had a lot of sympathy for Blake Lively. And then when everything else started to come out, especially that explosive $400 million lawsuit against her, I think that from what I have read, and I've read these in detail because I find them to be fascinating, they're an interesting read even if you don't like celebrity drama. I think that there is a lot more credibility on Justin Baldoni's side than Blake Lively's side. And I don't think anybody could say that either of these people behaved beyond reproach. I mean, even in the Amber Heard-Johnny Depp case, Johnny Depp was the clear winner of that case. People did not believe Amber Heard, but nobody could say with a straight face that he always behaved beyond reproach. So were there mistakes made on both sides? Sure. But I think Blake Lively made a massive tactical error in bringing this suit. The bad press about her had long died down. She did not need to reignite this. And as the kids say, and I'll censor it for your viewers, mess around and find out. And she's now finding out because even more unflattering stuff is coming out about her now. And I think that she kind of seems disingenuous.
Despite all of this, there is still a chance that Baldoni's case may not go as planned. If Baldoni's team doesn't play their cards right, Blake Lively might walk away from this with no real consequences. This case is still anyone's game.
Blake Lively has no motive to make allegations of harassment public, just as Amber Heard never did against Johnny Depp. With her, what happened in this case in big picture is Blake Lively makes a private complaint of harassment to Baldoni and the other individuals in the middle of the filming, saying, let's get it right and let's be professional for the rest of this filming. What Baldoni does is he goes out and hires the same PR firm that Depp hired to eviscerate Amber. And again, it was to attack and eviscerate Blake Lively. And you see some of the text messages that the New York Times uncovered where these PR people were saying that they were planting false stories. They were very proud of the fact, they said Justin Baldoni wanted to bury her.
In a desperate move, it's now being alleged that Blake and Ryan are targeting social media accounts that expose their legal battle. If true, this would suggest that they're actively trying to suppress negative press. But in the age of digital media, is it even possible to silence critics?
They were very, very proud of the fact that this would all be untraceable in the social media. And in fact, Blake Lively was harmed. Her reputation was hurt. She suffered damage as a result of this. Why would he do that if in fact this was all false? Why wouldn't he keep it quiet? They have no motive to bring this out because they want the film to succeed. So that's the first big picture. So she finds out he's doing this. She files the complaint. He turns around and retaliates, which, you know, I'll talk about the anti-slap here, but you're talking about this website where he puts all his on. Remember context. There's always context.
Blake Lively is now facing a full-scale public relations disaster. With new evidence emerging, major figures like Megyn Kelly openly calling her a fraud, and legal experts questioning her defense, it's clear that this case is far from over.
Like when there was speculation of like, are Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively not getting along? Back then, when people were digging up all the interviews, I think at one point I even like defended her, and I was like, I think people are just dragging this out and like digging up every single interview and taking it out of context, and making her a lot worse than what she is. I'm sure she's a diva. We've heard these rumors on set for years. But when the lawsuit first came up, or when the New York Times article first dropped, there were just a few red flags that really stood out to me. And as somebody that covers pop culture and knows the news very well, for a while I even...
What started as a legal dispute has now turned into a battle for credibility. And with her former allies backing away, videos surfacing and social media turning against her, Blake may be running out of options. The question now is, can she survive this, or has the damage already been done?